morning, boys and girls. Today we continue with our next action-packed story. I can't wait to share it with you. It's a story that moves us from the battlefield to another battlefield. There were no soldiers on this battlefield, there were no weapons, but there was a flood, a massive flood that came down from the sky. I don't know if any of you have been in a rainstorm before. I've been in a rainstorm before. Have you ever been in a rainstorm where it rained so hard that you couldn't see in front of you? I've had some of that rain before, but it's only lasted 1 or 2 days. Our Bible hero faced a storm that lasted a number of days. In fact, we will get into the story shortly, but in that story, Noah is told that he is to build an ark in a desert. Seriously? An ark in the desert? What were you thinking? God came to him and said to him, the world is so wicked, they've turned away from me, that I'm going to punish them. But I'm going to save you and your family because you are the only righteous person amongst the people. And the way I'm going to save you is I'm going to ask you to build an ark. And that ark is going to take a long time. In fact, it took Noah 120 years to build an ark. Can you imagine when he built that ark, the people walking past him saying to him, "Hey Noah, what you doing?" And Noah would turn around and say, "I'm building an ark like I did yesterday, like I did the years before." "No, are you crazy? What are you thinking? It's never going to rain here. We never had rain here, let alone a storm and a flood." And Noah said, because God told me to do it, I will obey him. I will be obedient to him. So I was thinking to myself, you imagine God saying to you that there is a flood coming? Can you imagine him saying to you that it will be for a long period of time? What would you take with you on the ark? And I started thinking to myself, well, maybe what I would do is I would take my favorite blanket and my favorite soft pillow. And I would nestle up against this pillow, and when it rains so hard, at least I'll be warm and comfortable. But then I thought, nah, that's not really. And then I thought, maybe what I need to do is take my skipping rope with. I can skip inside the ark. Maybe some of you have been skipping at home during the lockdown, and I can stay fit. Yeah, maybe that will work. And then I thought, well, maybe I should play bats and ball. Smack the ball from the one side of the deck of the ark to the other side. Maybe even some of the animals would join me. And I thought, oh, maybe that's an idea. Or maybe take a soccer ball with. I love playing soccer. And maybe the giraffes and the rhinos and the hippos can all join in and we can kick the ball from side to side. Maybe I can kick the ball nice and high and the giraffe who's got that long, tall neck can header the ball for me and header it into the goals. One thing you need to be sure, boys and girls, that you never play with the cheetahs. Those animals you just can't trust. Oh, maybe then I thought, well, you know what? Those are games I can play during the daytime. But at nighttime, I would want to feel loved and cared for by my favorite soft toy. This is the one over here. Oh, it just gives me loves and kisses. Mwah! And maybe have this next to me during the time that I'm in the ark. I don't think Noah had any of those things. Noah had all the animals to take care of. And there must have been a lot of work because the Bible, God tells Noah to take food for the animals. He took food in the beginning. He filled up the ark, not just with animals, but with the food that they ate. And every day Noah would have to clean off those stinky poos. He'd have to rinse off those wheeze. He'd have to keep peace amongst all the animals, because that was Noah's task. For 40 days, it rained non-stop. Can you imagine how long 40 days are? That's almost as long as we've been on lockdown. Imagine being in an ark for so long. I wonder what it must have been like for Noah. It almost must have felt like going on a long trip when you ask your parents, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And your parents say, "No, we're not there yet." And you come back later and you say, "Are we there yet? I'm getting so bored. This trip is so long. When are we going to get there?" Noah had rain for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm sure at times he must have wondered what was going on. Oh man, is it still raining? Oh, I wish it would stop raining. It's not raining yet. Oh man, it's still raining. Oh, I can't take it anymore. I've got to get out of here. Those elephants, the smell is just killing me. I've got to get. Oh, it's still raining. Oh no. Oh no. Close this window quickly. Rain without stop. I wish this rain would just stop. Oh. can it be? It stopped raining. Oh, glorious sunshine. Oh, can't wait to get out of this ark. You see, boys, it couldn't have been that easy. It couldn't have been easy to be on the ark for such a long time period. But because Noah stayed on the ark, because he listened to what God had told him, Noah and his family were saved. The others outside the ark that mocked Noah and said to him, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" Every single one of them perished because they thought their ideas were better. They thought they knew how to save themselves. Maybe some of them jumped onto rafts. Maybe some of them jumped onto whatever they could. And maybe they floated around for a few days, but eventually the waters swelled up, the floods came down, and everybody perished on the earth except for Noah. In fact, there's a beautiful passage in God's word where it says that when Noah and his family walk into the ark, when all the animals are behind them, and remember, God brought the animals to Noah. God is the one who seals the door. He's the one that closed the door and kept the water out. You know, boys and girls, during this lockdown period, sometimes it feels long. Sometimes we can't completely understand. Sometimes we want to become anxious and we want to get angry and we just want to run outside and just leave our garden behind. Sometimes we want to go to school and play with our friends. We want to play sport, and yet for some other reason the lockdown stops us from doing sport. We want to go to the cinemas and we want to watch a movie. We want to get out there and play with our friends. But at this particular time, and all those things can make us sad and frustrated and miserable. But I want to tell you that God is still in control. This is part of God's greater plan that we don't fully understand right now. But even in the time of lockdown, like Noah must have been inside that ark for such a long time period, I want to encourage you to spend time with God. I want you to encourage to read His Word, to pray, to take a look at what DBC, Durbanville Baptist Church, and Kids Church have put online for you. Do the worksheets, read the stories, and stay in touch with God over this time period. God is faithful, God is true, God is almighty, and this has not caught him by surprise. Noah was a hero because he obeyed God. Before the ark even started, we know there is a man that walked with God. He built an ark at a time when everybody else mocked him and thought he was absolutely crazy. But because he was obedient to God in his different ways, in his higher ways, Noah and his family were saved. There's a wonderful promise in that. We are to follow God with all our hearts, minds, and souls. And when we do that, God is faithful. God says that He will save us. He'll save us from this lockdown period. He will also save us for eternity one day. So I want to encourage you during this particular time period to read God's Word, read these stories, be encouraged by them, and take a story like Noah and share it with your friends. Just like you've watched this online clip, you can share this clip with your friends. You can share it with other families so that we can all be built up, learning more about God during this particular time. Remember, Kids Church, it's all about knowing more about God, loving God more, and loving and serving others. And I trust that as we go through these different stories, there'll be encouragement to you. Read the stories in Genesis chapter 6, chapter 6 to chapter 9, and you can read more about Noah and all the other bits and pieces that form part of his story. Until we meet again, I wish you well.